Right.
Kaigu's PC has a bug, so we're just waiting for the restart. Went into ban very shortly and then dropped out.
Also, they went into picks and bans and then they kind of jumped out because that was a little bit of an error. But you know, we're gonna head back right into that. So bans and picks. What are your predictions? I predict Zach, Diana, and possibly Karthus being banned out by SGS.
I think we might see a few targeted bans at both Tofu and Chao. You see a lot of AD carries being banned out when teams play against the Singapore Sentinels. We see Elise banned out almost consistently when teams play against the Singapore Sentinels. And I think we might see Mineski ban out Lee Sin. They had a hard time against next game's Lee Sin jungle. They're known not to be very aggressive early on, and Kaigu had a really tough time going up. And Harulia is an incredibly strong Lee Sin player, so I do think Mineski might ban that one out. And we are in Champions League right now. Bans and picks are taking place. There's that Shen ban coming out from the Singapore Sentinels.
Right. They don't want any of that global action, so they're just going to go for Shen Karthus. They're completely ignoring that Zach TF Diana threat.
Come on, twist of fate. Do it. They don't go for that. They go for Zed ban instead, which is not too surprising. Zed is an incredibly strong mid laner as well.
So we got that final ban here being prepped up for Mineski. They've got Jarvan and Lissandra ban. Lissandra, they're targeted at HY.
I think we might either see an Elise or a Lee Sin ban here, targeted either Tofu or Hallelujah. No, they go for an Orianna ban.
Right, so
wow.
All of us, we completely messed up the bans. But yes, they are going to deny the Zac. That makes sense for them. I foresee Lee Sin.
Oh goodness, please. Please,
Kaigu. They're going to try to deny the Lee Sin pick for Hallelujah by picking it up themselves. And they're going to go for that Thresh as well.
So the Singapore Sentinels have no problem at all going up against the Thresh jungle. Wow, please lock in Mr. Tree. Well, Kaigo's trolling us. Oh, there we go. Lee Sin being locked in by Kaigo. So yesterday we did see him lose out to a Lee Sin jungle quite significantly. Today he wants to prove himself. Hallelujah's not picking any of these champions. Ignore whatever Hallelujah has on his screen right now because he is not picking them, that's for sure.
Well, I think that one thing that we can probably be sure on is that, in my opinion, Darkness is going to be playing the Zyra as the support because he's been on that champion day and night. He's used it against Thresh a couple of times as well. It's something that he's very familiar and comfortable with, and he has a lot of synergies.
Yeah, the number one troll in the Singapore Sentinels. He knew this would hype up the crowd, and that's what he's going to be holding on to. But no, he won't be thinking about Zyra as he predicted there. Zyra and Varus here, they're incredibly strong. They have a ton of magic damage and crowd control. And Zyra, Kylie was telling me yesterday, if not the day before, that Zyra is essentially an extension to an AD carry. Because I was talking to him about what does he feel about the Ashe Zyra lane competition that Cloud9 are famous for, and he was saying that it's not Ashe Zyra, it's just Zyra. Zyra is the main feature in that matchup, and it's just an extension of any AD carry and helps him out so significantly and helps out the team incredibly well as well.
Right, I agree. Zyra is a great champion to have for any AD carry. The ability to stop bruisers from diving in on a champion is just really strong. Over on the side, Mineski, they have locked in that Diana pick, so I was really hoping that, you know, the Singapore Sentinels would recognize the threat of that champion and lock it out, but it seems like they've left that open. I'm not sure whether they're going to come to regret allowing Yume to get on that Diana.
I'm very scared for Exo's Vayne here as well. It can go one or two ways for Mineski Gaming. Either this Vayne's going to do incredibly well, go really well against HY and and Chowie and Darkness in the bottom lane. Because we do know that Vayne does have a tiny bit of a weak early game, but with the recent nerfs to the other AD carries, it's not as weak anymore. But Zyra and Varus have so much damage potential early on, but it won't be surprising as well. We see the lane swap of Thresh and Vayne going into that mid lane.
Right, with that Vayne pickup and with what we see on the Singapore Sentinels of Zyra and Varus, I highly doubt that Mineski will go for traditional laning, because against somebody like Chowie and Darkness, there's just no way you're going to be able to win a lane of Varus and a Zyra with a Vayne. It's just going to be so brutal. So right now, what SGS needs to do is that they need to pick a strong top laner that is able to go up against this Vayne in a 2 versus 1.
So most likely we are going to be seeing Tofu on one of his most famous champions, Rumble here. Tofu is an incredibly strong Rumble player. Very interesting as well because both Chawi and Hallelujah can play Gragas, and I've seen Tofu play Gragas a few times as well. So all these players can play a few of these champions. It'll be very interesting to see if Zac goes in the jungle or if Gragas goes to the mid lane, but most likely we will see Zac go to the top. Zac go in the jungle with Rumble in the top lane and Gragas in the mid.
Right, that's most likely what it's going to be. Now we're waiting for the final bruiser on the side of Mineski. They're going to go for the Malphite pickup. So this is something similar to what they went for yesterday. It's kind of based on getting the initiation, a strong initiation, and then we have the sweep up for the AD carry. So
I really don't like this Malphite pickup though. If you look at Silvercell's team composition, everybody does some form of magic damage. Even Varus has incredibly heavy magic damage. And as a Malphite, that's not something you want to be facing up against.
Right, and the other thing that kind of worries me is that the Singapore Sentinels has this great dispersion tactic. They've got Gragas on them. They've got Zyra with her Stranglethorn is going to be able to knock everybody up. It's actually going to be a bit difficult for Mineski to engage onto SGS, and that worries me a little bit.
So Mineski's team composition does look like they want to go for a really heavy initiate and a very clustered team fight as well. They want the Malphite to go in with the Unstoppable Force. Lee Sin can follow up with a safeguard as well. Diana can jump in as well. They will always be in the back line, just tumbling back and forth, getting some damage off. And Thresh, one death sentence, could pick off a champion from the Singapore Sentinels. But as you said, they have so much dispersion on the side of the Singapore Sentinels. I don't think Mineski can get off a clean initiation in this game at all.
Right, the other thing is that they do have some pretty good initiation on SGS, so it's going to be up to Mineski to peel for the Vayne as well. And in terms of peel, they've got a couple of champions that can actually get SGS off of them. I guess they've got some pretty decent peel. They've got Thresh, they've got the Dark Passage, they got the Flame, and of course they've got Diana with Moonfall, they've got the Dragon's Rage on Lee Sin. They got a couple of ways to keep Vayne safe. But that initiation and dispersion from SGS is going to be something that they're going to have to watch out for throughout the game.
It'll be very, very interesting to watch them in this. Kaigo here, we saw him on Nasus yesterday, very passive jungler. Now we get to see his Lee Sin play. Hopefully it will impress us quite significantly. We're always interested to see Lee Sin in the jungle. But then again, we have Hallelujah for the Singapore Sentinels. Hallelujah knows Lee Sin in and out. He's very good at Lee Sin. So he might be able to help his team out with the jungle patches of Tiger, his gank patches, and how Lee Sin works in the jungle.
So we're going to see the Singapore Sentinels take advantage of that level 1 advantage that they have. They've got the Zac, and that really allows them to be a bit more aggressive because of that soul division. If he does tank the first couple of spells that Mineski does use, the rest of the team will be able to DPS and really just back up.
They are standing on top of a ward right now, so Mineski know exactly where the Singapore Sentinels are. Singapore Sentinels have a very smart ward placed down into the entrance of their own red buff. This will spot out if Mineski Gaming do go for that invade. Singapore Sentinels, though, it looks like Mineski Gaming wants to close down on that. I really think there's going to be a level 1 fight, and if there is a level 1 fight, this might determine the way this game goes.
Oh, yep, they spotted them. They saw that Sonic Wave past the ward. Now this is going to be exciting. Is SGS going to be able to teleport out? HY, get out of there now, dude. What are you still doing in there? He gets out. And I think we're going to see a pretty quiet level 1, to be honest.
There we go. Yes, he did not manage to pick up Singapore Sentinels when they're in their jungle there. Quite a risky invade coming out from the Singapore Sentinels against Mineski there. But it looks like this can be seeing the junglers start on one of their own buffs here. It looks like Lee Sin wants to start at his blue buff. Hallelujah here, gonna get the extra leash from Chawi and Darkness. And they're gonna take the red buff. And we actually see the swap coming in from Mineski.
Right, and as predicted, that swap is gonna be going up. I think that Hallelujah on Zac is a great counter jungler though. I love the counter jungling, sorry, not counter jungling, counter ganking ability of a Zac lane. And I think that's what's going to give them the advantage. In this 2v1, the fact that Zac can come over the wall from so far away is going to surprise Mineski a couple of times, I feel.
Chowie and Darkness at the bottom is doing a good job of zoning out that mouth fight very, very early on. Chowie is letting the wave slowly push into the tower. Even though now towers have a nice armor buff that lasts until 4 minutes and starts to go down at from 4 minutes to 8 minutes, it will still allow them to get some decent damage onto that bottom lane tower very early on.
Right, so it's a mirror of what's happening in the top lane there. Mineski's EXO and TG just pushing up and holding Tofu away from the lane. You can see here, Hallelujah might be coming in for the gank. He's level 3 already, and this is exactly what I worry about. Vayne is quite short range, so if she goes in for the poke on the turret, she might be in range for the elastic slingshot. Over at the bottom lane, Chowie is really doing an immensely good job of zoning out. We've got Hallelujah coming in, up, TG gets caught, he's forced the flash, and that's exactly what I was talking about. That's the thing that you can do with a Zac. You can hide really far away and still be able to get in there thanks to the long range of the elastic slingshot. That's something that Lee Sin can't do quite as well. Lee Sin can jump over. He's got his safeguard as well as his sonic wave, but it's not as far as what an elastic slingshot will be able to do.
Singapore Sentinels seem to have slightly better lane control than Mineski from the bottom lane and the top lane here. It looks like they were able to get the creeps to push into the tower a little bit slower than Mineski Gaming, getting that cannon minion there a bit earlier and was able to help them push in there. Top lane though, Hallelujah had a fantastic counter gank, helping out Tofu very early on. Kaigu though, since he started at blue buff, took a bit longer to get down to the bottom lane to help out Snoy.
Right, so now that they burned the flash on TG, what is SGS gonna do to try to take advantage of that? Snoy here taking a bit of damage. Sonic wave comes in from Kaigu. I think he may be getting a little too aggressive here. But that was a nice attempt on a gank there. Really good. Chowie and Darkness are going to have to be very, very careful in this lane. Great. Lee Sin is a very strong early game ganker.
Very good mechanical skill coming out from Darkness as well in that bottom lane. He was able to kite back and forth, push forward when the Sonic Wave came out so as to dodge out Kaigu's ability there. He seemed to want him to chase on a little bit, but was not able to carry on. Jungler is still at this bottom lane in what we now call the traditional 2-1-2 swap up between the teams, just because this is how it will be taking place in a lane swap. But mid lane though, we saw Zac go into the mid lane, burn out Yoon's flash from Diana there. Good gank coming out from Hallelujah.
So I would have to say that in this lane swap, SGS is getting a slight bit of an advantage because Hallelujah has been roaming around, whereas Kaigu has been stuck to this lane for a long time.
Hallelujah looks like he's going to counter jungle Lee Sin. Yes, he is. He's actually going to counter jungle Lee Sin as Zac, something I barely ever see in competitive play here. So Hallelujah, good knowledge of his champion that knows that Tofu can hold out on his own just because Mineski Gaming are pushing wave by wave to the tower. They're not holding the waves up, they're not delaying the push of any of these creep waves, and with only 5 or 6 minutes hitting the tower of Tofu, he can manage it very well, and EXO and TG cannot get enough damage onto this top lane tower.
Right, what they really need to do is hold the wave till it's large enough, so there's at least 2 stacked waves. Then we can see them actually getting some damage onto the turret, and that will actually put pressure on the Singapore Sentinels. But at the rate they're going, there's just not enough pressure on Tofu to keep Hallelujah locked down in the lane.
You can already see that Hallelujah, even though he is slightly behind in terms of experience, he was able to help out the laners a bit more. We did see Kaigu take a lot of experience away from Snoy's bottom lane right now. Snoy taking a chunk of damage from Chowie Hallelujah. Wow, look at that good mechanical play from these two players. They're able to chunk down the tower and also the health of Snoy at the same time. HY was able to head back to base, picked up that chalice.
In they go for the gank. Hallelujah gets behind. TG's getting really low. EXO may go down now. The ignite goes up. He tries to flash away. Will there be enough damage? Pops the barrier. But now he's going to get hit by the electroshock harpoon. And he will go down.
Well, it's an unbelievable play coming up from the Sabres. They saw Hallelujah jumped over that wall with that elastic slingshot. knocked up both the AD carry and support from Mineski. And at the same time, Tofu was level 6. When Rumble hits level 6, you need to be extremely careful because he packs an incredible punch, has a ton of crowd control, and comboing that up with Hallelujah on the Zac jungle was absolutely insane for the Sentinels. A fantastic play and a great early lead for them in this game against Mineski.
The timing on that equalizer was amazing. It just landed right as Hallelujah came in, and there was no escape for TG. His flash just was barely off cooldown still. And without that flash, there's absolutely nothing that he could do. So the timing on that gank was impeccable. They knew that they burnt the flash on TG, and they knew exactly that it was still down. It was down like with 30 seconds on cooldown, so it was a very well-timed gank. Tofu may be in trouble though, gets condemned, but he is going to be up against the wall. He doesn't have his flash here. They're going to go in for the kill. Exo tries to go in, but he's forced to back off by the turret.
Exo had no barrier in that initiation there. If he had barrier, I do think that he would be able to dive the top lane of Tofu Boy there. But this is still going to be a disadvantage for Sentinels. Mineski Gaming might be able to get this out here, but we see Hallelujah and HYHR are going back in to try and help out Tofu in the top lane.
Right, that is the right move. They cannot afford to lose this turret too early, because SGS Chowie at the bottom there is about to take out the turret of his own at the bottom. So they really need to just hold out for a little while longer, and then they can have the lane swap. Hallelujah should focus his efforts up there just a little bit more. Meanwhile, Darkness has to be careful because in comes Kaigu to defend this bottom lane turret.
Cheeky play by Kaigu there, using the plan that Darkness put down early on to jump in to help out Snoy and clear out that wave there. And again, initiation going on top lane. Tofu might come down here. There was the equalizer. I don't think it will be enough. Actually going to roll in the top, or will be enough. Mineski pick up the kill onto the top laner of the Singapore Sentinels.
Right, Tofu is getting a bit too cocky in that lane. I don't know why he was out that far in a 2 versus 1 with that much health. That's going to lose them the turret right now, and it's going to throw away the advantage that Charlie fought so hard for in that bottom lane. He took down the turret, and if Tofu was alive for just that little bit longer, they would have been able to swap and save the top turret.
And we saw actually at that top lane, if Tofu did not get forced out of lane early on and did not die in that situation, the tower would have been incredibly healthy compared to the bottom lane of Mineski. We're going to see Kaigo again. He gets a Leeson mechanic onto Chowie. He gets knocked up here. There we go. Oh, Chowie, fantastic mechanical play. Flashed away from the... Kaigo's going to go down. Chowie picks up the kill. Fantastic mechanical skill from the Sentinels. That was absolutely unbelievable.
That flash, man. I don't know how he got away from that. Now Yumi's in a bit of trouble. He's going to get hit by the Let's Bounce. In comes HY. They are out for blood. Yumi uses the dash to get away. Jumps onto Darkness, but it is not going to be enough. Singapore Sentinels raking havoc on the lines of Mineski here.
I can't believe how much action there has been in this game so far. Only 10 minutes and we've seen so many kills go back and forth. Dragon now looks to be picked up by the Singapore Sentinels. They can take this one off with ease. But my goodness, Chowie's flash was unbelievable there.
Impeccable. The timing on it. He knew that Snoy was just waiting. Snoy was waiting too. Snoy was trying to bait out the flash, and he got outplayed. Yeah, that was just pure mind games. Both of them were waiting. In came the Zyra. The unstoppable force came out at that last second. And it was such a close one too. If you think about it, the closer the unstoppable force is, the harder it is to avoid. But still, Chowie avoided it. The timing and those reflexes.
It was a good play by Darkness. Well, got the grasping roots on early, right after the kick came in from Kaigo, the flash kick back. And after that grasping root, he threw out the Stranglethorn straight away. That forced Snoy to make a decision. It's either use the unstoppable force now and negate the CC coming up from Stranglethorns, or wait until he gets knocked up and Chowie might be able to flash play to a safer distance. He went for the early one, but Chowie sniffed it out very, very well. Flashed right as he used that unstoppable force, and it was a fantastic escape from the Singapore Sentinels.
Right, I think it's awesome that you pointed out Darkness there, because Chowie would not have been able to get away if not for Darkness. Oh my goodness, they've gone for a beautiful catch, forced the flash on TG, even dropped the Stranglethorns there. I think that was a little bit of overkill, but it was a nice burn of the flash of TG. They've gotten Chowie though. Chowie's in trouble. He's gotten hit by the box. The Dragon's Rage comes in. He will go down. Now TG might be in a bit of trouble. Hallelujah taking a lot of damage. Oh no, the play comes in and Hallelujah will get hit by the Soul Division. Now Tofu's found himself a little bit too deep. Darkness getting very aggressive. In comes Hallelujah, comes back up thanks to the Soul Division. Where is that backup? HY is not there. Oh, double kill. Nice pickups there from Mineski. Meanwhile, HY just pushes up that bottom lane. Let's hope that he's able to do something. He wasn't able to get to his teammates in time, but he might be able to grab some damage on the turret here in the bottom.
Earning that flash from Chowie at the bottom lane proved fatal for him up there. He got caught off early on, barely got any damage in before he went down. Tofu though, really smart, went aggressive at the right time. Even though the team should have backed away from that fight after Chowie got taken out, he went aggressive at the right time, and by going aggressive then, he was able not only pick up TG as a kill, but forced Mineski to back away once Hallelujah popped his passive, allowing him to live to fight another day.
Right. I still think that Chowie made quite a big mistake there, getting caught by Thresh, who just landed that hook from quite far away. That should have been something that he could have easily dodged. Can't be letting TG get these free hooks.
Yeah, TG though, he's been spot on with those hooks so far. He's landed 2 in the top lane, giving Mineski a good lead on the Sentinels with that tower early on. And also he landed that one on Chowie just then, so very clutch hooks coming out from Mineski here. And they've been playing quite well as well. Still a very close game, although Sentinels do have a 2,000 gold lead ahead of Mineski.
Let's have a look at some of the warding here. Singapore Sentinels have that blue warded up really nicely. Over on the side of Mineski, a little bit less vision on their side. They don't have any vision beyond their own river. And you can see here Hallelujah is going to take full advantage of that. He's going to go right for this blue buff. Going to get spotted out by Kaigu though. Who's going to win the smite battle here? HY does want to provide a little bit of resistance. Oh, manages to land that beautiful battle. Nice use of that battle to get that blue buff. Great play there. Hallelujah's Oracle's Elixir there paying dividends.
Ooh, another hook comes out from TG there. Just barely missing Darkness in that brush. Chowie's going to come out here. That was a fantastic play from the Singapore Sentinels there. HY try to use the explosive guys on. TG might be in trouble. He pops out his box. It's not going to be off. Chowie's going to pick that one up with ease.
That looked so easy. I mean, Darkness made that look like ABC.
That's Stranglethorns. We saw Darkness play Zyra in the... No, he didn't play Zyra in the show match. Sorry, that was the AD carry. Actually, he played Nami in the show match. But Darkness, Stranglethorns has been nerfed because it used to be incredibly fast and almost impossible to dodge. Now it's been nerfed because Zyra's been used as a support so much. But he's just landing these grasping roots with ease right now. Left, right, and center.
Right. I mean, he is a mechanic with that Zyra. I don't know which other player can just land so many grasping roots in succession. Yume there with a bit of a weird moonfall. I think he expected to be able to land his dash attack, but he didn't quite reach.
Mineski is still holding out very strong against the Singapore Sentinels. It has been quite close between the two teams. Not so much of Mineski's error bits to Singapore Sentinels' good play so far. They've caught out the
Hallelujah gets caught. Tries to jump over the wall, gets hit by the Condemn. He doesn't have his ulti anymore. Gets killed even though he uses his knife bounce. Chowie gets caught out. Oh, the initiation. Yume is getting really low here. But slowly but surely, Singapore Sentinels getting wiped out here. Once again, they do not have HY in this fight.
Darkness still managed to pick up a kill there with his passive. HY needs to start grouping up with the Singapore Sentinels. Both sides, Mineski have capitalized on the fact that HY is split pushing, maybe trying to rely on the fact that he might be able to cancel out Snoy's teleport, but he has not been able to do so far. And Mineski capitalizing on HY at the top lane. Once again, he has the bottom lane earlier. He needs to start grouping up with his team, or Mineski are just going to keep catching the Singapore Sentinels.
I really do not understand what's going on with this strategy that SGS is employing. They have been going into these fights and getting caught in these 4v5s nearly constantly here. This is not the first time that it has happened, but this is one that's going to hurt them a lot. This time around, they lost 4 champions. Mineski got away with no deaths at all. They cannot afford to be making these mistakes anymore. They're going to try for this dragon. They know that Malphite's at the top. Snoy's not going to be able to help out. So we're going to see if Tiger is able to go for the steal. He's going to be very brave here. He gets caught out. Oh, beautiful use of the explosive cast there to just prevent that Lee Sin from coming in.
The timing on that was fantastic from HYHY. He got hit by the Sonic Wave. He knew he had to use it early. If he used it when Lee Sin was on top of it, he would have knocked him further into Ban Pit there. But wow, used it right as he was in midair and knocked him against a wall, not allowing to get the smite off. And Sentinels pick up a dragon there. So they still maintain this 2,000 gold advantage ahead of Mineski. But they need to start grouping up as a team. They haven't been grouping up and Mineski have been capitalizing on that.
Right, I'm a little bit worried about the late game potential that we have here on EXO. He's playing that Vayne, and if it gets to the point, you know, where Mineski is just able to dive onto Chowie, then we're going to have a lot of trouble here, because if they take out Chowie, the rest of the team is just going to crumble under EXO's Vayne.
Mineski Gaming have a really strong point, which is they're not afraid to take down the front line first. We saw them jump really aggressively onto Hallelujah and burst him down incredibly early in a team fight, and that's what a lot of teams are afraid to do. They're very afraid of using their abilities on the tank and wasting their damage on such a tanky target. But Mineski played out very well, and if you look at Sentinels team comp, they're relying on HYHY for that explosive cast to negate the heavy initiation that Mineski have. They should send somebody else to go for the split push instead of allowing him to be top lane and not being able to help his team in his team fights.
Well, to be honest, I think that the reason a lot of this initiation onto the tanky champions has worked out for Mineski is that they've been having these 4v5 battles. So even if they spend a lot of their firepower to take out Hallelujah, it doesn't really end up punishing them when it's a 4 versus 5.
So we're going to see both teams just running back to their respective lanes. We're going to see the 80 carries in a minute. No, actually, Chowie's still at this bottom lane. He's trying to duel out Yume. He has to be a little bit careful. Dinah has a ton of burst on the it's an 80 carry.
Yume's going to get caught here. He's going to get caught in that chains of corruption. Let's bounce being used. Chowie should be able to pick this up, but Yume going over the flash. In comes, oh, the beautiful piercing arrow there to finish him off. Just gets the tip of it in there.
Just the tip. Chowie puts just the tip there. Managed to take down Yuni. Pops the passive from his W ability there. Sentinels pick yet another lead for themselves. They have 3,000 gold in their advantage right now. They looks like they want to push heavily onto this mid lane. The rest of the team is slowly but surely grouping into this middle lane.
Right, I think they need to go in here and grab this turret. They do have the numerical advantage right now. Just need to make sure that Chowie remains safe. He doesn't have his flash, doesn't have his chains of corruption. Could get dived on really easily here by Snowy. But they do manage to pick up that mid turret safely, and I think they should back off after that.
Good poke on the Exo there as well from the Sentinels. One casket, and Chowie's Q was able to take down Exo down to half health early on in that tower siege today. Sentinels have some form of poke potential from Varus, Gragas, and Zyra.
Alright, let's have a look at the items that we have here. HY has actually farmed up quite a fair bit for himself. He's highest minion score right now on the team. And he's got the Rabadon plus the Athene, so he's going to have a lot of damage on him right now. The really short cooldowns as well. He's going to be able to spam that explosive cast. And I think he's gone for a really good build on Gragas.
Dinah though is going to delay. They're going to delay her Zhonya's Hourglass and go for more magic this year. We've seen her pick up the Mercury Threads and also the Abyssal Scepter. A lot of tenacity and magic resist as well, which is what you will be needing against the Singapore Sentinels team composition with everybody having some form of ability, power, damage. But that's going to allow Chowie to get some free damage down to Dinah, and Dinah really wants to be bursting down the 80 carry as easily as she can.
Over at the top lane, HY is going to continue this push, but I'm not sure whether he should continue going for these split pushes. He's been absent in a number of the fights that the Singapore Sentinels have lost. And, you know, I would really like to see SGS taking advantage of that mid-game power that they have. They have a lot of ults that can wombo combo, a lot of AoE damage, because there's just so much synergy in their team composition that they're not making use of if they go for these split engagements.
Here has that mobility boost, so runs around incredibly fast here. Some form of light sticking out the back of him there. That is quite interesting coming over him. But yeah, we're going to see Mineski Gaming. Looks like they want to group up again. Still just farming out the mid lane and the jungle here. Dragon is still down. Will be down until the 23-minute mark. So just over a minute to go before that will respawn.
I'm not sure whether SBS should just continue putting pressure on all lanes here, because the longer this game stretches, the more of a threat the Vayne becomes. And once that Vayne becomes too much of a threat, Hallelujah is not going to be as strong when he jumps on her.
Chowie though has picked up a Bloodthirster in comparison to the Blade of the Ruined King that we see.
They may be able to catch Kaigu here. They're waiting and looking for it.
Oh goodness, they have an Oracle's Elixir as well. They know that that brush is not warded, but he's not going to come through here. If he goes down the river, he will get caught up, but no, he decides to run away from that.
Oh, they're going to swing from behind. The Singapore Sentinels coming in for this gank. Are they going to get caught out? They do not have Snoy. Snoy does have teleport though. Oh, they're waiting, and they'll catch Kaigu. Oh, beautiful catch, the wombo combos here. Hallelujah gets the lens bounce. TG is in a bit of trouble. They're going to be able to pick that up. Comes in with the teleport. Hallelujah's in trouble. I think he still has that. Oh no, we're going to see TG go down. Chowie's got to watch out though. He could get jumped on by Yume, keeping his distance here. Tofu pop his Zonias. And what looked to be an excellent catch for the Singapore Sentinels is slowly going sour. Soul Division there from Hallelujah gets picked up. Snoy gonna get caught by the grasping roots here. Oh my goodness. These plays are all resting on Chowie. And somehow, some way, that's gonna come out very evenly. SGS really messed that one up. I don't think Tofu was in range for the equalizer.
Tofu was nowhere near that team fight. They cut out members of Mineski very early on, but Snowy got a teleport in. Vayne got 3 damage while the rest of Mineski were pressuring Chowie, but fantastic position from Chowie. Stayed alive that team fight despite being pressured so hard, and then with the beautiful flash to escape the Sonic Wave and Resonating Strike, keeping him alive with the barrier on top of that to pick up the kill.
There was no way that SGS should have won that fight. It was only on the back of Chowie that they won that fight.
Chowie putting the team on his back in that fight. He has that Bloodthirster compared to the Blade of the Ruined King that EXO has picked up. To have a bit more damage in this team fight. Good casting from HY did not want to get caught out in that middle lane.
I think the problem right now is that SGS is overestimating their damage and underestimating the tankiness of Mineski. They thought that once they got the catch, they could just burst them down. But it didn't happen so easily. They caught Kaigu. But if you look at it carefully in that fight, Kaigu only died towards the end of the fight. So Chowie didn't actually have enough damage to finish him off. So now that he's got his last Whisper up, he should be able to take Kaigu down.
Last Whisper pickup will be fantastic for the Singapore Sentinels. We can see that everybody except for Vayne on the side of Mineski is incredibly tanky. Thresh is going to scale because of his passive. We have Diana here not building so much AP and foregoing those items to get more and more tankiness. We have Malfoy who's naturally tanky and Lee Sin who's building up tanky items as well.
Right, I think what's going to happen and what this fight's going to turn out to be is that the frontliners are going to try to keep the AD carries behind.
And wow, actually, Yume get taken out incredibly low. That Yume will escape, but HY, no! HY does not get the blue. EXO managed to steal it away with an auto attack on Vayne. Fantastic play from the Vayne player.
So right now what is happening is that both bruisers, all the bruisers on both teams are going to try to keep the AD carries away. It's going to be which AD carry can kite better, and I have to say that there's going to be an advantage there for Vayne. She's just a great AD carry for getting away from bruisers. Plus she has great damage thanks to her Silver Bolt. I'm a little bit worried for the Singapore Sentinels as this game gets later and later.
Singapore Sentinels have a ton of damage and crowd control, so if they can lock down EXO for a good 2 or 3 seconds, he will be vaporized completely. Chowie needs to continue what he's been doing this entire game. Staying safe, only dishing out damage when he absolutely can, and not risking his life to pick up 1 or 2 kills.
Mineski here just allowing EXO to farm up as much as he can. He's quite fat already. He's actually the richest member on their team, and that's who they need to have that gold on. They need to have that gold on Vayne. They need to be able to keep that Vayne alive in the fights too though. So that's going to be a very important aspect as these team fights come in.
Singapore Sentinels are 5,000 gold ahead of Mineski right now. That should aid to their advantage in the next few team fights, even though EXO is the strongest, the most farmed player in Mineski right now. Chowie has more gold than him, and so do a few other members of the Singapore Sentinels.
What needs to happen in this fight for SBS is that HY needs to land his explosive cast, not on the tanks, but start going for EXO, because at this point, Snoy and Kaigu are just too tanky. They don't take much damage from that explosive cask anymore. And once you pop that explosive cast on Gragas, you don't really have anything else to contribute to the fight.
I feel that HY actually has to use the explosive class on as many members of Mineski as he can to get the burst damage off and then to separate them from their cluster, which they really want to create with Dyna, Lee Sin, Malphite, and Thresh here. If they can separate Mineski Gaming and allow the Singapore Sentinels to then slowly take down targets one by one, I think that will help out the Singapore Sentinels incredibly well.
That's true. Actually, in the last fight, what happened was that even though he got a beautiful cast, Tofu wasn't there to back up the team, and I feel like that's why there wasn't enough damage to finish off Mineski. Do you think that they're going to be having enough damage in the late game to kill off this Malphite,
I think
Diana, and Lee Sin?
I really think that Singapore Sentinels will be able to do so just because every single champion they have packs an incredible punch. Zyra as well, being one of the few champions that most competitive players play as support, will build some form of AP sooner or later. And with a Leandri's tournament on Zyra, every auto attack from one of your plants will proc Leandri's, and that is a massive amount of damage coming out from the support. On Mineski though, I have fears for their lack of damage because Snoy and Kaigu are not going to stare very well in terms of damage into the late game.
Right, but they've got EXO on that vein, so I think he can make up for it. Hallelujah has been melting in these team fights, and Yume as well has been doing a lot of damage in these fights. He's building up so much magic resistance. He's picked up an Abyssal Scepter, gone for yet another Negatron Cloak.
Yume is incredibly tanky as well. The Singapore Sentinels really need to focus on a target quickly and swiftly, because if not, if they separate this damage, it's going to work out to Mineski's favor incredibly well.
TG there, getting some good damage onto him, but he manages to escape. That teleport on Snoy has been used really well. He's been split pushing all day, and you can see the Singapore Sentinels haven't been able to stop him from using that teleport to get into these fights.
Singapore Sentinels might be able to take this tower though, especially since Snoy is at top lane, will not be able to teleport quite in time. He's still split pushing though. There's an initiate guard.
They go for the initiation. Yume goes in, pops the Zonias. They're going to separate the team completely here. Snoy is going backwards here. Will Hallelujah go down? He's got the Cell Division. Darkness may be in a bit of trouble. SGS is backing up. They're going to leave Hallelujah there. They've got enough damage down on the turret. They're going to try to get away. Snoy still has the Unstoppable Force as well as a flash. There is no way Darkness is getting away. He's going to try his best to escape, but that's not happening. Yume could be in trouble though. Yume goes back in with the Moonfall. Snoy still has that Unstoppable Force. He pops it on Chowie, and Chowie is going to be in trouble here. Chowie! Up against Kaigu and Snoy. Oh my goodness, he's still alive. How is he doing this? How is Chowie alive? He's getting away from Snoy. Chowie! Chowie is unstoppable. Chowie! How does he do it? How does Chowie do this? He keeps turning things around.
Chowie is a mechanical beast. He is putting the Singapore Sentinels on the back. That situation looked dire. Snoy looked like he was going to plow through the entire team. Darkness smartly used the Mikhail's Crucible on himself, kept himself alive, helped out to pick out Kaigu, and then Chowie just beasted it and turned around, destroyed EXO, and then beasted through the rest of the team.
Can we just rename SGS already? Oh my! No, that was HY. Okay, that was HY. You gotta give that to HY.
Fair enough, but still.
But seriously, can we just rename SGS to Chowie's Angels?
It really should be Chowie's Angel there, but there we go. Flash use on HY. Kaigu's still chasing, not gonna hit that Sonic Wave though. Chowie, they're gonna pick up blue buff it seems, stealing that one. Oh,
they want to go for Baron. They want to go for Baron. Mineski is gonna try to go for this. No. This is a desperation move. Do not do it. Do not go for that Baron.
No.
Oh no.
No, please.
No, Baron, no.
No,
they're
Baron.
gonna go for it.
Please.
HY is gonna come in.
They're not gonna do
this. Too dangerous. This is too dangerous. You gotta stop now. Singapore Sentinels are closing in. Snoy does not have his Unstoppable Force here. Oh, this is big trouble. Missed equalizer though. Darkness will get picked up. Hallelujah comes in for the initiation. I don't think they can go for this Baron. I really do not think so.
Generating that health, so I think they're going to settle with the kill on Darkness.
That was good enough. That was good enough.
Training a player for a stopping Baron is good enough, but I felt that Singapore Sentinels could have played it out a bit more solid and not lose any players.
Right, Darkness coming in from the wrong side, to be honest. He was just bad angles, man. Bad angles. You know how bad angles
Not
make
the
you look
triangle
fat?
angles that Singapore Sentinels needed.
No, definitely not. Coming in from a really wrong side of the field.
So we're going to see Singapore Sentinels pick up yet another dragon. I believe they secured every single dragon in this game so far. Going to help them a lot in terms of the global gold. Mineski will have to give them a ton of credit. They've kept this game incredibly close, down to each and every team fight, despite being 8,000 gold behind the Singapore Sentinels right now.
Right. They have been getting some good kills in these fights. I think that what they need to do is play it safe. That Baron was not playing it safe, nor was it playing it smart. SGS was, they went back, but they were coming back out of the base already, so that was not a good time to take Baron.
And with all these champions building up a ton of resistances, even though Vayne has that silver balls, have a chunk of damage, I don't think we'll be able to take it out.
Oh my
fast
goodness,
enough.
SGS is trying for this.
SGS, don't do it.
Don't, please do not throw this game like that.
Smart players to decide
that
not
Baron,
to.
just avoid the Baron, guys.
Yes,
both Mineski and SGS need to stop going for that Baron. I know they got a lot of love for that big purple guy, but stay away, guys. Stay away.
He is scumbag Baron. He makes it look like he's your friend. He's going to give you 8,000 gold worth of buffs and 300 gold each. But then he just says, no, the other team loves me as well. They're going to come and have love with me as well.
Right, Baron is a traitor. Tofu's in a bit of trouble as he tries to defend his turret by himself. Is he going to pop his equalizer? Turret is going to start dropping really fast here. Chowie lands that piercing arrow, but they gave that turret away for free.
They were in very, very poor position. Singapore Sentinels were in no position to engage onto Mineski. Hallelujah here needs to be careful as well. He has been standing over this ward for quite some time. Mineski could always turn around onto him. But no, they're going to pick up that tower and settle for that. And that's exactly what Mineski needs to keep doing to come back in this game. They did take small but sure objectives. They picked up Darkness early in the Baron initiate. And they also managed to pick up that tower while Singapore Sentinels were out of position. But they're going to go for Baron once again.
No, what are they doing? They're going to, okay, they might be baiting. If they really decide to go for this Baron, Holiday is taking too much damage. Oh, they're going to get the hook onto Chowie. In goes TG. They're going to go for the engage. Spine gets caught there by the Chains of Corruption. Yume going to stick on to Chowie. Chowie has gotten caught out here. This is not good for the Singapore Sentinels. Chowie is still alive though. Where is his defenders? Chowie might go down here.
Oh my goodness, Chowie! Chowie!
Chowie!
Oh my god!
Chowie!
Chowie is a mechanical beast. Quadra kill, if I'm not mistaken.
Chowie!
Oh my goodness, what just happened?
How does Chowie stay alive when he's got a Malphite and a Diana on him?
And a Thresh as well.
How does he do it?
Oh my goodness.
Hacks, this game is set up. I swear, there's some hacks there.
System. My goodness. And Singapore Sentinels look like they want to end the game right here.
They can and they will. First Nexus turret goes down. Second Nexus turret goes down. Chowie!
We're gonna see TG going. Let's go for Chowie. And that's gonna be game. Singapore Sentinels take the game against Mineski in spectacular style.
How did Chowie survive? I don't get it.
Oh my goodness! Listen to that crowd!
The crowd is going nuts here. All they're doing is they're shouting Chowie.
Oh my goodness. Chowie, man. I think Chowie's gained a few new fans today. That was spectacular mechanical play. Watch out, Captain Jack. Watch out, every other 80 in the world. Chowie is coming out to get them.
12-2. That's his final score. And I cannot understand why they just couldn't finish him off.
My goodness, they just needed a little bit more damage. Well, giving a lot of credit to Singapore Sentinels. They were able to keep the key damage dealers of Mineski off Chowie. Yume was able to get in, but that is a definite. Diana can always dive into the back line of any team with ease. So can Malphite, so can Lee, and so can Thresh. But they kept EXO away from Chowie. Singapore Sentinels were able to burst down EXO by themselves without any damage coming from Chowie. And also, they were able to keep Kaigu away from him as well. So the three members, Yume, Snoy, and TG were able to jump onto it, but that's it. And Chowie outplayed them incredibly well with some additional help from the Singapore Sentinels. That was a fantastic game.
Right, I really think that Mineski played the game well, though. They did not play it badly. It's just that Chowie made them look bad.
Mineski didn't look bad that game, though. I feel Mineski played incredibly well. They were 2,000 gold, 5,000 gold, then 8,000 gold behind the Sentinels, but they still took towers, pressured Baron, and still had incredible team fights that came down the very last few bars of health on each and every champion. Well played to Mineski Gaming, and I hope to see them climb out of that losing record. Right. After that game, they truly deserve it.
So we're going to be going on a short break before we come back with more exciting action here in Vietnam for the Southeast Asia Season 3 qualifiers. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Don't go away.
Don't go away.
This may be the game. The Sentinels may be taking down here. Going to the winner's bracket, maybe thwarted. It is going to go down, and Vietnam takes the first spot for the Southeast Asian Regionals. They will be going to Los Angeles, and they will be challenging the rest of the regions for the $2 million prize pool.
And I'm just trying to wonder what's going through Sentinels' minds right now. What are they doing in this game? They came out all the way to the finals without really